All right, guys, welcome to week 5, Principles of Management Accelerated version. This didn't change. This is week 5. I don't know. I just changed this and it apparently didn't go through. But basically, we're going to talk about motivation and leadership, which is the fourth or fifth stage of functions of management. So you do have a few things that you'll need to be reviewing this week, which is your written assignment. You actually have 2 this week and 1 discussion post, so it's going to be a little bit heavier week this week, and of course the quiz. So you have week 5's objectives for this week. We really need to understand those functions of leading, managing, and using of power within organizations, apply theories of leadership to various management circumstances, establish and successful motivations for teams, groups, and individuals, and then what do you do differently, learn to communicate effectively with others in these types of environments. We want to discuss the nature of motivation and how it pertains in the workplace. We want to apply early theories of motivation to specific jobs and activities. Utilize the principles of behaviorism and reinforcement, how to improve performance, and we'll talk about that a lot in the live lecture. And then we will learn about the different theories as far as equity, expectancy, goal setting, and compensation models. And we will apply job performance models to work context variables to motivational systems. And we'll use job design process and job characteristics models to improve employee motivation and performance, which we talked a little bit about that last week. We talked really functioned in that HR capacity and looked at job design and really how that plays a factor in setting the right skill sets and the right employees for job matching. So this week, your written assignment on leadership styles. So this written assignment basically has 2 parts. So part 1 is, and really I don't know why they put it in 2 parts, but the first part of your paper is, do men and women differ in their leadership styles? If so, how? And do men and or women prefer different styles than their bosses? So if their boss was a man or woman and whatever leadership style they have, do they prefer a different style than what they effectively their bosses would have? And then what evidence do you have for those answers? And then the second part is you're going to research some 500 companies, leaders, 1 male, 1 female. Keeping the personal characteristics of leaders in mind, demonstrate where and why each of these leaders fit into their specific grids. So that's kind of the second part of it. So the first part is kind of your opinions, and then if there's any research to back up your thought process or opinions. And then the second part really is researching 2 leaders, 1 male, 1 female, in a Fortune 500 company, and do they fit into specific grids. The rubrics for this week, so it just kind of breaks it down. Basically 30 points for each one of those sections and 10 for APA citation, correct spelling, punctuation, and grammar. I've pretty much gone over this every week for many of you. If it's not an APA format, basically starting last week, I submitted it back to you until it is put in proper formatting. I feel like I've given you guys 2 weeks notice, if you will, and told you how to correct it, where to correct it, and in some cases why it needs to be corrected. So this point going forward, I will not deduct points. I will just send it back to you and you'll need to fix it and correct it. So things that I will mainly look for, pretty much what I've said all along. You need a proper APA title page. You need to reference your sources. You learning, so you're not an expert. So granted, you'll have your opinions, but you also have research. So that needs to be notated in your reference section. Haven't really taken off for the use of not using noodle bib or citing things correctly, but you should not have in your reference page strictly a website or a hyperlink. So I've also been addressing that with many of you, that you need to put it in correct APA references. I either would direct you to Noodlebib or even the APA reference guide online, and it'll show you how to cite sources correctly. So your other written assignment is really motivating your employees. Assume that you are about to start your own business and you are short of resources. Okay. You want to build your company with happy and motivated employees. So, what areas can you focus on from the very beginning to ensure that your employees are satisfied and motivated? Consider incentives like intrinsic and extrinsic motivators. So, a little hint there of what I'll be looking for. So, the rubrics here is 45 for describing what they would be doing to ensure, or what you would be doing to ensure satisfied and motivated employees. Include both intrinsic and extrinsic motivating factors, and then of course that 10% for APA, formatting, correct spelling, punctuation. I see no reason why I should deduct points for correct spelling. Spell check your papers before I get them. Pay attention to the red squigglies, the green squigglies. You might have a grammar error there. So if you're not going to proofread, then I will deduct the points. However, it shouldn't take that long to just review a few things on your paper. Or you can always use things like Grammarly, which is directed in the Library Resources tab. The discussion post for this week, basically your needs. So assess yourself on McClellan's 3 needs. On which needs are you highest and which ones are you the lowest? And what are the implications for you as a manager? So you'll need to review those 3 needs factors, determine which ones that you feel, or 1 or 2 that you feel are the highest, and which ones are the lowest. And then of course your initial post Wednesday, followed by your feedback post Saturday. And you have your last quiz due Friday midnight, and still timed 10 questions. And your live lectures Mondays 6 to 7 Eastern time, and of course I will send out the recording. You'll need to email me by Friday midnight, as with the quiz, all 5 correct answers for attendance. So you'll want to make sure that you do, excuse me, watch these announcements each week. We only have 1 more week after this anyway. So I'll be going over a few things each week, including this week where we have extra credit. So the extra credit for this week is an external website that you'll go to. I am not tied to it. I don't track any of this stuff. They might be doing it, but it's anonymous, so it shouldn't really matter. Just so I can cut all those type of emails out. I don't track it. I don't do anything with it. But it's kind of a fun kind of little quiz test for you to take, kind of around the idea of the Myers-Briggs test. If you've taken them before, awesome. It should be the same type of questions. It may or may not be the same result. If it is different, then that would be a cool thing to note. Typically I've taken one every like 7 years and it tends to be the same. So there's some, I guess, validity in this test. But basically you'll go to the Human Metrics website, which is here. You will click on the Young Topology test, which is also located right here. From here, you will then want to basically just take the test, and you're going to get a series of questions. I believe there's 75 questions. It's kind of a yes or no answer, or you're uncertain. They've actually changed it a little bit. So it's either it's on a Likert scale, if you will. So it's either a relatively high yes, a lower yes, a high no, low no, or you're just uncertain altogether on those. And then from there, you want to answer all those questions. At the end, you're going to get a test score. That is what you'll email me. It should be 4 letters. And if you would like to tell me anything about the test, you like the test, you didn't like the test, you've taken one before, it was similar, you've taken this one before, it wasn't similar, whatever you would like to tell me. But I do need at least those 4 code in order to give you the 100-point credit. Now what I'm going to do with this 100-point credit is turn around and lower your lowest quiz grade. So I won't be able to really apply this until after the last quiz is done in week 6. But I will eliminate your lowest quiz grade and give you the point for the extra credit. So that should help you out with some of those quizzes that I think some of you just didn't do well on for one reason or the other. So if anybody has any questions on anything, the assignments, extra credit, etc., email me. Usually the easiest way. You can set up an appointment with me if you'd like, either during my office hour, or you can always contact me and we can set up an additional time to speak by phone or in the Adobe room. So hope everyone has a great week 5, and I will see you guys in week 6, our last week. Thanks. Bye.